What's to come before the storm in the UAAP Final Four? As we look ahead to this weekend's exciting matchups, we're joined by someone who knows all about the remaining four teams gunning for the men's basketball title. Welcome to the game, FU Tamarau's assistant coach, Mark Isip. Coach Mark, thank you and welcome to the studio. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
All right, Coach, before we talk about those four teams that I'm sure you know about, let's talk about the one team you know most about, itong FEU and your run here this season. 3-11 record.
Yes.
Pero a lot of experience gained, a lot of growing that the group has done together. How would you summarize yung season nyo?
A lot of learning. Not the game, the standing that we want to, 3 against 11. Plagued with lots of injuries, of course. Not the fairy tale ending you want for your seniors, the likes of James Tempra, LJ Gonzalez, even Mo Fati. So you feel for them, especially the seniors. You wanted them to at least make it to the Final Four and see what happens there.
Yeah, and of course it is the first year of Coach Denok.
Yeah.
So we have to talk about him and talk about how, you know, the dynamics of Coach Denok. How is he? I'm sure he's not happy also with, you know, as you mentioned, how it all ended. But the whole experience, how do you think pag nag-usap kayo ni Coach Denok?
Siguro nasa stage ka pa of getting to know, trying to instill the principles that you want for the team. The chemistry between, di ba, all of the remaining players and some of the additions, especially with the import coming in, wasn't there.
Yeah.
So the 1 year to prepare for this season wasn't enough.
Okay.
Of course, it's still now a bit more time to build from the gains had here. But then let's pay tribute first to si LJ Gonzalez because a lot of talk about legacy in the UAP as of late. We saw it with Jerome in the Adamson game. But then si LJ also someone that we have to give credit to. Just what do you feel did he leave the program moving forward?
That's my guy, a true Tamarao at heart, a King Tamarao. Never gives excuses. I've come to know this guy late in 2019, my first year as part of the men's basketball team. Works very hard, doesn't give excuses. He plays when he's sick, injured.
Yeah,
It's not
lalo
really
na
good.
last year.
Yes.
Grabe yun.
Yeah, grabe siya last year.
So when he steps on the basketball floor, he gives his all heart.
Okay, lastly on FEU, Coach, positives to take for next year. What are the positives that we can look at? Or you guys see?
The new additions, we have a new import coming in.
Okay.
Konate,
Okay.
standing at 6'9", 6'10".
We've heard some things about
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah, really good.
Promising, yeah.
Promising, good, big guy. We got, of course, John Ray Pasaol, you know him?
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
Coming from the juniors
Program,
and
yeah.
Godinez. I think all these three guys will play a significant role at our team.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excited.
So excited for FEU next season and improving on that record and hopefully knocking on what we're going to talk about next, itong Final Four. And the matchups here, I think a lot of people would have predicted the 1 and 2, maybe even the 3 spot here with LaSalle, UP, and NU coming up as one of the teams that surprised a bit. Ateneo had to fight to get there though. So I want to talk about Ateneo and UP first because Ateneo had to go through adversity to reach here, to reach this point. How do you look at this matchup against UP kung saan underdog talaga ang Ateneo?
When I look at UP, you can see consistency. All throughout the season, they've been consistent. They have 10 to 12 guys who you just could pull. That's how deep their bench are. They're the number 1 on bench scoring.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
All throughout,
Yeah.
first and second round. And with Ateneo coming in from a do-or-die game against Adamson, they got confidence. So it's going to be consistency versus confidence. Let's see who's going to win that battle.
And technically, when you talk about Ateneo, parang dalawang knockout game yung pinagdaanan.
Yeah.
Yes.
They had to win against UE.
Yes, true.
They had to win against the Adamson. And as you know, yung mga ganyan, that sharpens you
Yes.
going into the Final Four. Okay, you talked about the bench, UP, the strength. What can, sa Ateneo naman, you talked about their confidence, but what, from a schematic or tactical standpoint, since kayo, you always scout these
Yeah.
teams,
Yeah.
what do they have that they can parang bring to the table that will really challenge UP?
If Ateneo could lessen the easy points of UP from turnover points, fast break points, second chance. I call those regalo. Those are gifts. Those are energy, effort plays.
Right.
So if you could lessen those and try to keep at pace against UP, I think they have a good chance.
And Ateneo feels like a more focused team kapag knockout yung usapan because when it comes playoff, parang mas
Yes.
hyper-focused. And I think we saw that against Adamson.
True.
Now, looking at the other matchup here, LaSalle and NU. LaSalle, numbers-wise at least, when you look at their offense, when you look at the production that they do have, for NU, the question will be here, really stopping LaSalle because they actually have okay defensive numbers. How do you look at this matchup? And where can NU cause an upset here?
Well, LaSalle right now is on its 8-winning streak.
Yeah,
They're the hottest team right now.
hottest team
right now. They're the number 1 scoring team. Average at 80. And NU's around number 4. So if NU somehow can keep the scoring below 70, I think they could play a real...
Yeah. You take a look at that group and there is going to be key players to watch here.
Yes.
Itong si Kevin Cambao in particular he's basically leading the race to make MVP.
Right.
The guy to stop him though, if you're looking at NU, I'm not quite sure who you would peg, but then you picked as a key guy here for NU is Jake Figueroa.
Jake Figueroa. I mean, Jake Figueroa, when we play against this guy, when I watch him play, it's like he gets 14, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. That's a regular Tuesday for him. He plays the best guard of the other team, gets switched on the big guy.
Kaya pa rin.
Yeah, loves to mix it up.
Okay.
Very tough guy.
Okay, if you're NU or if you're a fan of NU, are you concerned na, like last year, Coach Mark, and you know this very well, medyo nagfo-falter sila sa dulo. Kasi lakas na simula nila. Exactly like last year, di ba?
Yes.
Same as this year, they maintained that 1-2 spot.
Yeah.
And then itong couple of losses going into a Final Four where they have the disadvantage, twice to beat disadvantage. Is that concerning? Or as a coach, these things don't matter to you? What do you think, Coach?
Yes and no.
Okay,
yes,
explain. Okay.
Yes, you kind of play it out. Yeah, you have a history of this. So you kind of try to fix or implement things that would work on certain areas, especially at crunch time. And no, maybe if the stake is that high, maybe players are out there to play. Players are out there to perform. Crunch time players, your go-to guys, will perform at that very night. So you're hoping for that.
Okay.
And now to shift the focus on LaSalle a bit here because as we mentioned a while ago, hottest team in the
Yes.
league so far, 8-game winning streak, swept the second round. And a lot of people are saying they're peaking at the right time.
Right time.
But do you feel, Coach, you've seen them, you coached against them, you've seen the scouting reports, we've seen all of their personnel. Have they reached their peak or do you feel that may isa pa silang level?
I think they have another level to come to. Because of the type of play that they're doing. And I'm sure Coach Robinson, Topes Robinson, will prepare them really, really well.
Okay, but if you're the opposing coach and you have been the opposing coach,
Yeah.
what are, ayaw naman gamitin yung word na weaknesses, pero what are things that probably you can take advantage of? Even with a rolling team like LaSalle, di ba?
Yeah.
Marami. UP's number 1, I'm sure merong mga things that Ateneo will try to take advantage of. Same with NU. What are things that they can take advantage of LaSalle, even if they have this 8-game winning streak? Sa tingin mo, Coach, knowing this team so well.
Yeah.
I'll try to give Kevin Cabiao different looks.
In terms of defense?
Defense,
Yeah.
yeah. If I could make him more of a scorer somehow,
Parang Nikola Jokic style.
Yeah, kasi- he does a lot of things eh.
Yeah.
Di ba? He does a lot of things.
Facilitate.
Facilitates and all.
So gusto mo, kung ikaw kalaban,
Yeah.
Only
bayaan mo
one
siya.
person.
Sige. Your show, go.
okay,
Make him
okay.
score more.
Interesting.
At least make him a jump shooter.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
don't want him to at the low blocks, especially at playoffs, which I want.
Yeah.
Diba? Especially pag playoffs, gusto mo the nitty-gritty physical type of game.
Right.
So if I could make him or push him out of his comfort zone, make him a jump shooter, make him take more shots, I think that'll be a key.
Yeah.
Pa, may I just
Go
ask
ahead.
naman, pagdating sa NU, even with the faltering or the losing streak right now going into the Final Four. What's working for them, in your opinion? What's a positive thing to take?
Their defensive grit.
Yeah,
It's always been there. Parang they find ways somehow to make their defensive stops. Consecutive stops. Somehow it doesn't translate to their offensive side of thing. But defensively, they're very attuned.
Yeah, hindi nawawalan ng effort even though they're in losing streak.
They like it. They like it
yeah.
in the mud.
Oh,
They
yeah,
say in the mud.
yung
ano?
mahirap na.
Before we move on from this, Coach, I want to go circle back to UP and Ateneo really quick because we didn't get a chance to talk about yung mga key players
Yes,
sa
let's
ni
go.
Coach. And
Napakadami.
napakadami, but we're gonna zoom in on two. Malik Diouf and Jared Brown.
Brown.
Why those guys in particular?
Of course, Diouf, reigning MVP. It's like if he can dominate his part of the game, the rebounding, running, rim runs,
Blocking.
and blocking shots. UP has the advantage, of course. And with Brown, if he can shoot.
No, he did the other day.
Yeah, he did against Adamson. And
Wow.
as you can see, I was watching the game, then I look at the scoreboard and Ateneo up by 18 with Balungay only having 3 points.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Aim was having only 6 or 7 right there. So
It was
if you
Brown.
could, if you would perform that way, I mean,
And he was a bounce back game for him. He had 1 out of 12 against
Before that
Lasal,
game.
di ba?
Okay, yeah, before that
Previously.
game.
So talagang gustong bumawi doon. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow
True.
For both UP versus Ateneo and Lasal versus NU, with Lasal being the twice to beat and UP being the twice to beat.
How much do we love Pinoy sports? With all our heart, all the time. Download Pilipinas Live now.